Hi.
Hi.
Nice
How
to
are
see
you?
you again.
Nice to see you again. Okay, so I took all the information from our 24-hour recall that you did,
Mm-hmm.
and I just have like a couple different some information to tell you about your goal, and then just a couple of things I wanted to touch on your actual recall. Some things I noticed. So, firstly, your goal right now would be a weight loss goal of about 15 to 20 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be about 1,500 calories per day. So right now, when I did your recall, I averaged at about 2,657 calories, which is
wow.
no, that's okay. So, we're just gonna go over like some things in your diet that if you like make small changes and stuff, you should be fine. Okay, so the first thing that I wanted to talk to you about was your vegetables. So, just a couple things about that is the burrito that you had gotten at fast food. If you had made that at home, you have more control over what you put in it. And that's a good way to get more vegetables because you could just add in a lot more of your own stuff. And then you could use a whole grain tortilla and use like a skim or fat-free milk. Fat-free milk cheese. Your only vegetable that you got was corn, which is a starchy vegetable. So it would be good if you could add more vegetables that are like green and different colors and non-starchy vegetables. And I even recommended maybe like having a side salad with with your lunch or your dinner.
Okay.
And you could use like a light dressing. Would that like be something you would be interested in?
Yes. Yeah, I could do that.
Okay. And then also I just have maybe like for your snacks, you have pretty healthy snacks, but maybe just like having some carrots or celery and hummus and stuff just to get more vegetables. And then for the fruit, although you did get like close to the recommended value, none of it was in the form of a whole fruit, which is really good for you. The thing that you have to be careful about is things like orange juice because they have a lot of added sugar in them.
Oh.
So two things you could do. One, you could switch to 100% fruit juice, like drink the straight juice from an orange. Or if that doesn't sound like appetizing to you, you could just eat a whole orange and maybe drink water. That way you're getting like the orange, but in a whole fruit version.
And
still getting enough fluid. And then I also just said like maybe instead of like a fruit granola bar, you could just eat like a whole fruit, like an apple or a banana or something.
Okay.
So more whole fruits. Another few things I noticed that you could maybe change is your saturated fat intake. So there's saturated fats and unsaturated fats. Saturated fats are not as good for you. The unsaturated is like the healthy fat, so that's kind of what you want to aim for.
Okay.
And some changes that I recommend is like you said you had 2% milk, right? Like if you switch to like a 1% or skim milk, that would be a good change you could make.
I could do that. Yeah.
And then also you had butter and cream cheese. Have you ever considered like switching to an oil-based like spread?
No, not really, but I could.
So I think that would be really good, especially like on your corn because it won't really like change the taste, you know.
Oh, all right.
And then lastly, you just want to make sure when you're eating like meats like pork that you're getting a really lean cut of meat.
Okay.
And also, one like side note, I did notice on your protein was like a little high, so maybe just like a smaller portion of meat.
Okay, I can do that.
And then the last thing I just wanted to mention was you actually had like a lot of empty calories in your diet, which is they can just be fixed easily again into healthier options, just like saturated fat. So one of the things is like added sugar in your coffee. If you can use sweeteners. Have you ever used a sweetener before?
No, not really.
So they're actually way sweeter than sugar. And that's why people like to use them because you can use less of them. And if it's going in your coffee, it's just sweetening your coffee. You can use something that is sweeter, but the less amount.
That's a good idea. All right.
And then also just like switching to a fat, sugar-free ice cream will reduce some of the calories that you're consuming. And then again with the orange juice, just want to make sure that it's either 100% juice or just eating whole fruits. And then again, like I said, the bean and cheese burrito, like with the cheese, you can make sure you're putting in like a good, like reduced fat cheese and more vegetables. So do you have any questions about those?
What about honey in my tea? Would that be something that I could put in? Is that a...
Yeah, that is a really good way to sweeten something as opposed to using sugar.
Okay.
So I would say that is a good idea.
Okay.
So have you ever heard of My Plate before?
No.
That is an amazing resource. It's basically like guidelines of what you should be eating, how many servings of stuff you can get in a day. It has a DRI calculator, so that's a daily recommended intake for your macronutrients, so like carbs, fats, and proteins. So you can figure out how much you're supposed to be getting or how much you are getting. Well, you can just plug in your food and check. Do you know how much you're supposed to get of each of those?
No, I don't. No.
So it should come from 55% carbohydrates, about 30% fat, and 15% protein.
Oh.
So as long as you try to stay in there with your foods, that should be pretty good. And again, it just talks about serving sizes, and it has a bunch of different, like, it has everything on there. So I did get you, this handout is for the My Plate. It has the website on there, and it has all those resources I talked about.
Oh, excellent.
And then another thing I have for you is this is cooking tips for weight management. Oh. So that's, again, like going to be talking about like replacing butter for something that has less saturated fat in it.
Excellent. Okay.
And then do you know how to read labels very well?
Not really, no.
Yeah, so that might help you because when you're shopping and you're trying to find something that's better than butter, like you can look at the ingredients, and this will help you like determine really how to do that or if it's really better, so you can compare and contrast different items. So there's that.
Excellent.
And then the last thing I have here for you is just some weight loss tips. If you read through them, they're just really helpful, or, if you're not sure where to go.
Yeah, no, this is great. Thank you.
Okay, so did you have any more questions?
No, I got a lot out of this. I really appreciate your time.
Okay, well, good luck, and let me know if you need anything else.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.